2, 1.
Good morning, everybody. This is BizTix TV. This is a place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. This morning, I'm here with my co-host, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. She's running stuff over there. And I'm Terralina from California Cover-Ups, and we're the Biz Chicks. And today is Money Talks. We're going to be talking with Coach Caren, who will be joining us shortly from Toronto, Canada, your island hustle girl, and she's going to show us how to get our money straight. We've been talking about sales, and so we wanted to talk a little bit about customer service before she comes in. So, Fran, I want to say a little bit about customer service and how important it is and some of the ways that we can get better customer service.
Which means it leads to better money?
Yes, which leads to more money. One of the things that I noticed, we had an event this past weekend, and the event had vendors. And one of the things that I noticed was there was a break in the session during the conference, and during that break, people were eating lunch, but they were also shopping. Now, what I noticed was that some of the vendors left their tables to go eat, and they actually didn't even eat at their table in case a customer came by. As a result, one of the ladies was actually situated in front of the food line, and people were passing her table and wanting to buy stuff while they were in line, and she was off somewhere eating. This is not how you treat your customers.
This is not how you make money.
No, if you're vending, could you cover your plate and wait till they are finished because they want to shop while they are eating? Girl, hold my place. I'm going over here and buy this such as. Isn't that how we do it?
I saw that purse. I need to go get that purse. Wait. I'll
hold my plate.
Yeah, hold my plate, and I'm gonna go get this purse, and I'll be back, and then I'll hold yours, and then you can go.
You go shop. Yeah. So I thought that was very interesting in terms of people's mindsets about how they treat the customers, and I don't think they even thought that was a customer service issue. But if you're not available, your customers are not going to be serviced. I mean, it's just that. How basic can it get, Karen?
I don't know, but some people are not thinking. They think about it that way at the time.
Yeah, the store is open. How many times you go in a store and you cannot find somebody to wait on you? It's getting worse, even at the major retailers. I mean, remember we were in Macy's and I was yelling, "Hello, is there anybody?"
Is there anybody here to take our money? And one of the things that we would say to you if you are a vendor is eat before you go.
Cheers.
Never go anywhere where you're tired, hungry, or your feet hurt. That's a Biz Chicks rule, isn't it?
So if you're going to vend, you eat before you go. Or be prepared to eat afterwards because you have to take care of your customers.
Yeah.
And even as a facilitator of the event, I didn't eat until afterwards because you're doing things, you're making sure stuff is. I got time to stop and eat, and I'll eat later.
Orchestrating when you're conducting a symphony. You cannot stop orchestrating in order to eat. It just looks tacky. Could you imagine you're sitting at the symphony and the man says, "Oh, wait."
And so you have to make adjustments when you are when you own the company, when you're running a vendor opportunity, or teaching or workshops or whatever, if you are a coach and you're doing workshops or having events, you may not get to eat with your guests.
Exactly. If you are running a workshop and people want to ask questions during lunch,
you get a coffee and you sip, you get some water, and you say, you know, it's going to be a coffee and talk. And you let them know, so when you sip, they understand, you listen still, you're paying attention to them, and you sip. Because people want you to tell them, even if they get scared.
Yes. They don't want you chewing in their face.
No chewing. Drinking is acceptable, but not chewing. I mean, we used to complain about my grandmother because she's stickler for rules and etiquette. Like, there's just things we couldn't do. And me and my sisters laugh about it now because when we see other people do it and we are somewhere else, we're like, thank you, sure they are. Sure.
Training. And one of them was, don't talk with your mouth full.
I can remember going to an establishment and the lady was eating and had spinach or something. She just, I was like,
kept ticking at it.
Okay, no, she was smacking and with stuff in her teeth. It was not cute. So anyway, Coach Caren is here today. It's Wednesday and it's all about our money mind. And Coach Caren is here to help us get that straightened out. So we want to welcome everybody who's watching this live and those who are watching the replay over on Facebook and on YouTube. We want to thank you for spending a little bit of your day with us. Coach Caren, what are we talking about today? I think we're still in sales.
Yeah, we're finishing things up today in sales.
Really? Are we never really finished with sales?
No, but we're closing. We're closing to a certain point. I mean, Like I said, I could teach sales for a whole year, really and truly. Like, I was even thinking about opening a sales boot camp and just teach it from the ground up. Like, I could really teach sales for the whole year.
And you know what? I think that sales camp sounds like something we all need.
Yeah, I think so, Caren. You might want to put that on for 2019 and maybe you do sales camp volume 1, 2, 3, 4, because there's so many things into it. But those are the basics of business. And I was writing some things down, like habits of successful businesses. And I'm thinking, okay, sales,
repetition. And there's some things we can close out talking about this morning. And because I am working on, anyway, I'll get into it as I talk. So let me not get ahead of myself.
Let's get this party started. Here we go.
Yes. So today we're finishing up this sales chapter on this chicks for this year. Okay. And so I'm just giving you highlights really and truly, because to dive right in is to have your pen, do the work, go out, do the work, come back in, discussion, go back out, come back in. And that's what programs are for. And when you're doing a full-fledged sales, training or a sales workshop, you have to literally go out and do the work. I think the hardest part for new people who's in business that don't understand their sale or marketing cycle, or just asking, could I discount this and could I take off that, and not getting their pricing right, it's they want it overnight to make the money. They're hearing about it. You gotta really understand to yourself that if you just have never done this stuff, you're probably gonna lucky if you make 100 to 500 a week. That's if you've never done this stuff, because you're dealing with a lot of yourself. It's not about you can make $1,000 for the week or 5,000. It's that you haven't understand, whoever you are, haven't understand how it works. Even if you had made money, this is the thing some people get away with. Well, I sell it all this time. People always buy from me. Do you have any accounting of what you have done? Because if you didn't know that, then you wonder why you're not selling anymore. That's because you don't understand what's happening in your business. And that's a self-awareness thing. That's a personal development thing. And that's something that's continuous for you. So when you're thinking about sales, you have to think about this long-term and short-term. And sometimes we're just excited about the short-term because we don't want to win. And that's great. But you want to be in a place where you can bounce idea off with somebody and know that you're on the right track and reevaluate and see what's happening in the marketplace and see what you need to do. But most of all, you need to check and see what's happening to you. And because the minute you're on that track, we like say, Murphy Law, and he come in and Murphy don't come in himself. He comes to your husband, he comes to your kids, he comes to your friends, he comes to your acquaintances, he it comes to even your client, and you have to be able to find this calmness inside of you to deal with it so that you cannot interrupt your business. And it's not hard. I'm not trying to pretend here. It's not hard. It's a discipline thing, right? So today, I want to cover quite a few things. The biggest burden we carry is being able to organize our thoughts in such a manner that we can solve simple problems. And for the online world, say we set up a freebie, something to give away, what comes next, and usually we're excited about a freebie, but then what happens after that? And I can't lie, that happened to me online when I came on board. Like, you give away a freebie and then you freeze. You're like, should I give them this? Should I give them that? What do they need? But it's not the people that you're giving that don't want what you have. It's you haven't dealt with you yet. Because if you've dealt with you, you know that if you give them 3 things and sell them, at number 4, you're fine. I have somebody who's in my box every single day, and every single day she tells me great stuff, and then she's telling me at the end of the day. Every day she sells. Every single day she sells. And the reason she is still, and I would not unsubscribe her, because she's doing exactly what I did, not email-wise, but that's what I did in my physical business. I sell every day. And that's what she's doing. So when people say, your inbox is too full, I don't want to hear from people anymore. Yeah, maybe you don't want to, but there's somebody who always wants to. So if she sells 1,000 emails and only 2 people buy, if she didn't send it out, those people wouldn't have bought on that specific day. Here's the thing. I might want to buy on Thursday, but not on Friday. I might be hiding from my husband to buy the thing online that I want to buy today. And I'm going to make enough money to pay it off. That's a great fact before he catch the credit card bill. So I might want to go buy that thing today. Now, if I have to wait until 2 weeks later when he is at the mortgage need to come out this and he's starting to come things up, I can't buy it, even though I need it, I want it, and it's good for my business. If he's an employee, he don't understand that. He don't care.
That reminds me, I'm going to use Walmart. The doors are open every day at Walmart, whether or not you go in or not.
Exactly. That's why I brought up all the time. When you come online, you have to treat your business as it's open. And if you open the store, nobody's coming, you dust the shelf, you reshelf it, you sweep the floor, you set up a cash register, you wipe it down. Those are the things you're doing online. What do I mean by that? You open your shop, you open your website. You go behind the scenes, see these things you can tweak, fix, or do. You check out your email. You get set aside important emails that you go into read. I don't read email first thing in the morning. Well, if your business, go read your emails when you say you're going to read your emails. Not when somebody tells you, when you know it's good for you. If you know you're in groups and you need focus on teaching people and getting clients, you got to be there, because some people let you advertise on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. You know the day, so you're setting yourself up for that day. So what will happen after? Repetition is going to help people see you, know you, like and trust you, and want to buy from you. So over and over you're selling. You're in a group and see a person putting things out there, like nobody's following it, nobody's commenting on those people, nobody's doing anything. What's going on? And they still post it. Somebody probably messenger them, or they are sticking with it until they see results. We hear it, you don't tell your baby not to walk. Well, that's what a person is doing. They're like, I fell down, I'm going to jump back. I fell down, I'm going to jump back up. When I was dancing, and I was a little, I've always got a lot of legs, no matter how slim I was. And for the life of me, I could split, but I couldn't go down really flat. And I had my dance teacher just get me a guy and a girl, anytime I sit down to do this, that's taller than me, and they would keep stretching my feet. That thing was painful. But I wanted to dance, and she let me know I could leave. I don't need to say I could leave, right? It wasn't compulsory, but I wanted to dance. So I stick it out until I could really do the splits. Over and over. There's so many people in the group that got it way before me. And trust me, I cried and I wanted to give up. I keep telling myself, today is the last day I dance. Monday morning, I'm back in dance. Every Friday, this was my tune. Last dance lesson. Monday afternoon, I'm back in dance. Why? Because I didn't want to give up on myself. And that's what we need to not do. Give up on our businesses. So we have to keep trying. No matter how dull it looks. We have to keep trying to get to this other point. So today we're going to talk about being organized and the discipline to discipline yourself to set daily, weekly, monthly goals. We always say, but I talking about sale goals. with a number attached. You're go for it, Terry.
Okay. You know, that is, I do a lot about our thought processes and stuff. That right there is a conversation you need to have with yourself about writing down your daily, weekly, monthly sales goal, writing that number. You got to get that thing straight in your head before you even start telling people about your cookies or your clothes or your whatever, because that part right there, that's what's making you freeze.
It is making you freeze. I had a friend years ago, and I could not believe how she was an accountant. Money was her nemesis. She always thinks she makes more money than she did. I just couldn't. I mean, those days I used to be like, just fascinated with her. I'm like, you know, that's not all the money you're making. Like, I would constantly say this to her, and she's like, what are you talking about? Yes, that's what I'm making. I'm like, they took out unemployment, PPC, contributing to RSP, your taxes is, I would go down the list of her because it's on our pay stub. Those days we got our pay stub in our hands, right? And I literally would talk to this woman, and she would just say to me, yeah, but you're not seeing what I make. I'm like, you didn't make that. Well, you made it, but it's not all yours.
And
it's not all yours. Oh my God. And the same thing happened to us in business. Because I said, open up, you can start a business without anybody because there's assets. Once you hit, even a teenager, have some assets. And once you decide, anytime people say money come in hand, money comes to your hand, right? And then you have this money, and there's all these things that's happening to you, so you can't spend this money. And you're freaking out, well, I got to pay this stuff. But what am I going to do, right? So if you were thinking of, this is all the money I got and how I'm going to do it, this is the first thing I want you to know. This is a human thing, everybody. This is not about me or you. This is just a human thing with everybody. When your mind is working on how I'm going to pay your bills, how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to do that, you think you can't think about anything else. You think you can't think about anything else. So you have to distract yourself and then go on the other path. That's for another time. We could be talking sales. I want to keep it where we're talking sales. If you're not sure, play with numbers that get your juices going. Last week, I talked about, putting aside 5 cents and 10 cents and 20 cents and write it down for 14 days, 27 days, and just go with it. Even if you were only able to do the first week or week and a half, write the next, so you did a week, and let's say for a week and a half, by the time you get to 14 days, I think it's about $400 and something a day you would have to be putting aside. And let's say you were only able to stop at $25 or $50, even $100. I want you to understand how you feel about what happened. No judgment. But the following Sunday, I want you to start it over again. This is not a lesson in so much the money, but more of a lesson of understanding your emotional state of mind, because it rules you like nobody's business. It really rules you. It's like somebody getting into a house because they were paying, rent for $800, and the realtor tell them, well, if you get into a house, you're probably going to pay less than that. The realtor didn't tell you that you got to pay water, hydro, gas, all the other things. And now you are freaking out because in your apartment building, you didn't pay those extra things. So you haven't figured out yet how to budget for those things. So you're freaking out. That happens in your business. You come in, you hear, I don't need money for my business. But you need money to grow the business. I am not going to sit here and lie to you. If you're on Facebook and you're working or any other social media, it's great for your business. But if you really want to make money right away, you're probably going to have to go invest some money in ads. But the social media aspect, I believe, this is only my opinion, it really teaches you so you can get to that part. So you have to be diligent and want to do tiring, boring work, repetition over and over and over, the same boring crap, which is going to get you results. It is going to get you results. Do what you say you're going to do. Even if it takes longer than you plan for it to be done, push through. Yesterday, I was pushing through some stuff because I'm working on this money management simple email course. And in between that, I needed to get something out to somebody. And for the life of me, this one specific area I couldn't get past. Not because I didn't know it, but my brain was so focused on getting a certain part because I promised myself it's going to be done by tomorrow. So I don't want to feel on Friday that I let myself down. So I'm working to get this done. So I was determined. So I got upstairs, I prepped things to cook, and I said to everybody, I said, you know what? You guys going to eat whatever it is your two hands going to prepare for yourself. And I'm going to eat what my two hands is going to prepare for me. I push everything back in the fridge. I ate my dinner, and I came back down because I needed to get through that Pacific thing. And once I was able to push through it, I felt so much better too. But if I'd given up on it and make sure everybody eat dinner, yes, my family is important, but nothing's wrong with their hands. And so I simply said to them, you know, come guys. And everybody's like, yes, Mom. What is it? I'm like, I got something I need to push through. And they're like, okay. And I got it done. So it's not sitting on me today. That part is done. My other part is done. And I got a little bit of things more to get done. And I'm sure I'm going to surpass my deadline. I love giving myself deadlines because it allows me to push through to get there. I like a challenge. So, of course, I want to get there before my deadline and feel great about myself. Part of my little joy.
This I like. So what I've heard you say so far is that we have to set daily, weekly, and monthly goals for ourselves. And one thing that stood out to me, you said decide what you're going to do. So with that in my mind, I decide to make money in my business. I have to decide that today.
Yes. Yes. You have to decide it. We're on the struggle bus. A friend of mine said, and it's so true. You're on the struggle bus for so long that you forget how it feels not to struggle. You forget how it feels not to struggle because it's just part of your being. It's like engraved in your blood veins that struggling is okay. It's like owing rent is okay. You know, there's people like that's what they do. They owe rent. Like nobody's business. My dad had a tenant and she wrote a bunch of checks to him and the first 3 checks clear and the rest of the checks didn't clear. And every time he goes, she had a new excuse. And I said to him, you know, you see, I'm sorry for her. She had kids, left, right, and center. And I wasn't as great as I am now. I know I was very rough around the edges. I said, what do you need? He said, I need her out. I said, okay, let's go. And he's like, why would we go? I'm like, she can't pay the rent. So we got there, of course, and she's a hide and seeker from him. But of course, she saw me. She don't know me. So I went to her and I find out what was the problem because he's busy wanting his rent, but he's not finding out. What's the problem? Could you not afford this house? Like really talk to her as a person, not only as a tenant, but what was really going on? And you know, and he said, well, I'll just do it through the courts and I'll tell him you need to rent a house, which he wanted me to rent a house anyway. And so we get her out, you know. But I like that we went in and talked to her and see where she was at. She left, you know, a certain part of Canada and moved to Toronto. And the job she was offered didn't pan out. And so all her savings were depleted. And all these crazy things was happening. And yes, she still has to pay her rent. But just the idea of the conversation allowed her to understand that, hey, in the next 2 months I can't be here. And really and truly, we just light a fire under her. And I said to him, you know, at this point, you probably have to either let her pay it after she leaves or count your losses. Because I don't know which one you want to do, and only you can decide that. But if you want to count your losses, she's out of here in 30 to 60 days. If you want to drag it on, she's here for the rest of the year with no rent. Now let's think where you are and where you want to be. He was willing to let the 60 days go without the rent because then you get a new tenant in who will pay the rent. Mm-hmm. And I end up being the person who collected his rent after you see how I handle it. And I moved upstairs and he got new tenants downstairs because he had a house and a basement. And he let the guys go through me and I let them know. I said, there's a problem. You want to talk to me before the first of the month? You don't want to wait till the first of the month. You want us to talk about it because although you're the tenant and we need you to pay, we're still human beings and we want to know if there's a problem, what's going on. And we want to know the best way we could handle it so both people come out winners. And that's what you want for your business too, you know. When people come into your business, when people need to spend with you, when you put forward all that marketing effort and all that sales effort, and then somebody come to and they're disappointed. It's hard for you, even though you might say to yourself, even if you're the kind of person who don't care, after a while you're going to notice you won't have anybody. So you need to pay attention. And as the ladies were talking about, somebody's busy eating or gone somewhere when they could have made a sale. When they could have, there's so many scenarios. The person next to you said, look, when I go to eat, could you watch my booth? And you're talking with them so they can watch your booth. When you're ready to eat, I'll watch your booth. It's competition in everybody's eyes. But I look at it as that's my comrade. That person is my ally. That person I can have, they might know things that I know nothing about when it comes to vending. I mean, the first time I vended really big, the cost was, I think, $2,100 for the boot. And everybody said, Caren, you're crazy, because I never vended really big, and I went big. It was not the smartest thing to do. People don't listen to me with that scenario. But anyway, I was excited. It's a place I used to go, and I know how expensive things are. I know it's the kind of market I want to capture. So even though the price point was really expensive, I wanted a good boot and what have you. I took it, and I'm glad I did. In some ways, I didn't glad, and some days I was glad because I dedicated a couple of months to doing the work, and then the people around me, as God will have it, was long-time vendors who I could have conversation with, who talked to me about things, and that's what we did. If we were going to the washroom, I had a guy and a lady next to me, ceramics guy and a guy that made clocks and jewelry opposite and something else. But everybody, when I got there the first day, I went around and introduced myself to them, and we talk about it, and the guy offered for when you're ready to go to the washroom, let me know, and the lady in the next door when you're ready to eat. And so that's what we did. The five of us, that's what we did. We collaborate. And so the person had to come in our booth, we tell them the price point we're selling things for, and how we're doing business, so that if we weren't there, things still got sold. And they sold for me when I wasn't there, and I sold for them. And that's what you want to do for your vending. Like, you can't eat it, Alrighty. So any questions, ladies?
I'm just liking this. I decide to make money in my business today. I will make money. So I've been learning about deciding and decreeing. So I decide to make money in my business today. And
yes.
Then,
you see what Fran's saying? It's a true statement. Lots of us have business, but we haven't decided to make money. We're afraid. We're ashamed. We're greedy. We're not worthy of it, whether we said it out loud or it's in our mind. There's a part of your bloodstream I talk about the struggle. If you do not even understand, I could tell you, a family member of mine used to do business. And I watched her start here and deteriorated because I was young, and anything I told her, it was like, what do you know? And she would listen to everybody else who know nothing. But Caren didn't know anything because, of course, I was a teenager. She just thought I was silly. Later on, I figured out that she thought I was silly in what I was telling her. She started off doing whatever she was doing. Yes, it was hard. And I said, why don't you keep it? Well, Caren, I'm not making X, Y, and Z. Saturday down, we count the money. So I'm like, you are making money on this product. This is a good product. Don't add to it until it is where you want it to be. Well, the first thing was, where do I want it to be? I'm like, don't you have rent to pay? She's like, yeah, but once it covers rent, what else do you have to pay? See, mine is only thinking about the immediate. The minute I told her about a bank account and what have you, she just freaked out. And everybody said to her, add this in and add that in. And over time, because she was just doing it on her own, she got so tired that she was starting to, the quality drop. She couldn't keep up with everything. It was a mess. The people who give advice knew nothing about business, but they went to work or their husband mind them. So they didn't know anything. But she'd been struggling so long that when this product that she decided to do did so well, she started sabotaging herself. Mentally, emotionally, she didn't know it, and physically for sure. Most people are doing that, but they don't know that they're doing it. So they're not able to stop themselves. And that's the hardest part. They don't need to stop themselves. Any athlete that is really great, most people think they don't need a coach. The reason they have a coach is because a coach is seeing the things they shouldn't do. You run around the field 20 times, but maybe you only need to do 10 times because you've done this other workout, and it's going to damage your bones, and it's going to damage this, it's going to do this, it's going to do that. My son used to run, and he has flat feet. And he twisted his ankles more than once. And his coach said to me one day, he said, I've been watching the guy, he's such a good runner. But there's something with his feet. And if you watch his feet, I don't see anything in his feet. But he told me there was something in his feet. So I went to the doctor. After the sprain, we went to our doctor who recommended this foot specialist. And what do you know? He has flat feet. So that means the arch is not as big as ours. It's more leveled out. So the impact causes him to go forward and twitch the ankle. The guy was watching it. He has seen things we didn't see. As a parent, I would never thought about that. So we had to get insoles in there to build up his runners, get it fitted, get his foot. It costs us hundreds of dollars to put his foot, get it imprinted, all those things like $400 this visit, get the thing, it's another $600. It cost us a lot of money, but what it did was the sprains disappeared. I mean, these sprains were happening in football eventually, and a break is better than sprains. So could you imagine when he's laid up for a sprain? He was a kid, so telling him he can't run, he's still playing with his friends. Even though he couldn't run. So we have to get that looked after. And so that's what he was able to do for us. And say, he's good. So he doesn't need to make as much lap while he's recovering. Because even though he's recovered physically, we can see it, the coach says, underneath, he is still in pain. That is still tender. So he could see the things we couldn't see. And even the doctor didn't even talk about, but he was seeing because he had so many kids obviously run with him before even exist. So some guidelines, so I'm going to talk a little bit about guidelines when you're setting a goal for your money, for your sales. And so it took me, I think this whole month, because I'm talking about sales, I have added after my record. I said, I'm a money mindset coach, but I have I almost put myself like cards. So money, mindset, and sales, because you need the sales. You need the sales to make the money, but you need your mind to understand that you need to do it. So they wrap themselves up in there hand in hand. And I have to literally go in and just tear apart myself in terms of my thinking and my processes, if you will. And sometimes you'll have to do these sort of things. And no embarrassment about it. You go in there and you just rip you apart. Not bad, but just in terms of where your business needs to go, the things you're not doing, the things you're helping with, but you're not totally going astray and adding crazy things on it. But sales is so important that you need to have that in there. And I realized, I used to say for a long time, I talk with the struggle bus, I am not good at sales. I said that for years. I'm like, well, you sell things all the time. But I used to say to myself, I'm not good at sales. I'm always looking for somebody to sell something to me.
But you said that about you.
Yes.
And you were having what you said about you.
So every time it's showing up, I need to get somebody for sales. I'll hire somebody for sales. And they wouldn't do a good job. But that's not because they wouldn't do a good job, because I've set up the perimeters in my head, in my mind. So I wanted to showcase to me, hey, girl, I've equipped you. You sold forever. What are you talking about? And then it served up. So some guidelines in sales, goals that make you stretch yourself. So if you are feeling like you want to set, like a weekly goal of $100, multiply it by 4, or whatever number you feel you can. Give your brain something to stretch itself towards. And you can decide, I want to make $400 by so-and-so date, but you can start off with $100. So I don't want you to just limit yourself. The limiting is also in the struggles. Do you know people will have enough qualification, settle in a job that will pay them just enough to pay for their mortgage or rent and do a few things. And if they add travel to that, they feel great and nothing else is happening. So when they're in a bind, they can't go any further. We do the same thing in sales. We will sell enough so we could be at this certain place, but no further. But we watch grudgingly as people grow. Money is a servant. You are the master. Money is the master. You can't let money master you. You can't allow the sale of your business to master you. We circle right back to why you have to look after yourself. Because when you're looking after you, when you're paying attention to you as a whole, you do better. You do better in all areas. If you're not looking after yourself, the fear is great. I mean, you think you're fearful? It kicks in big time when you're not looking after. You can tell you anything. It can just serve you up. The devil is busy in my background. He is trying all the ways he can.
Yep. And
I know he's in yours because he doesn't leave us alone. He's like busy. He's like catching all the weeds, right?
And it is really interesting that we set our sales ceiling. We set how far we're going to go. And when you said that we expect to earn this, but not anymore. So therefore, when we get to this, we're stuck there instead of taking it all the way out.
Yes. And we don't think we could do any better. And so some part of us starts shutting down. So everybody does it differently. Some people it's drugs, as we know. Some people it's rum. Some people it's just sitting around and watching whatever they have set aside dwindle away. It takes form of depression. It takes form of so procrastination is in there, and it takes a whole bunch of different forms. But when the first steps start happening, we don't notice because we are busy doing what we're doing in our lives. And as I said, me and a whole bunch of guys used to hang out. And I remember the first time I said to them, I said, we are hanging out, and trust me, I enjoy you guys. But we are not doing crap. We're just our parents doing absolutely nothing. We're just hanging. And every time we just hanging.
And when you're hanging, you're expending time, energy, and usually money. Because usually when you're hanging out, you're either eating, drinking, doing something. Even though you're hanging out at the house,
right,
in front of the TV, everybody went to the store before they got.
but nothing is coming in.
Right, everything is going out. Everything's just going out, and that's the same thing we do in business. We set up the email. When you tell people to use MailChimp, they're like, MailChimp, I hear a convert tip. Well, go learn MailChimp. Here's a scenario. Go read and learn MailChimp. This is what you want it to be. Before you go to ConvertKit, and here's why. You might be able to make a little MailChimp course so you can sell to somebody and then go learn ConvertKit. And then you can also make a little ConvertKit course. Because although people can go into those people and read it, man, the read is sometimes just annoying. Let me just clarify. It's annoying. I read it myself. It's annoying.
Well, if you don't understand the language,
it's annoying.
But you
you're right there.
But you have to do what you said earlier on, Caren, which was you got to push through that. You got to push through being, I don't want to do it. You got to push through, I don't feel like it. You have to push through, I don't understand. Well, go get understanding.
Yes, to say, I understand this. I'm just not understanding. I understand it. I just can't get past this thing at the moment. Really specify it's at the moment. That's why I often say this is a moment by moment. I can't get past this at the moment. When I first read my Bible, a little 80-year-old girl came by my house, Jehovah's Witness, and we read the Bible. I was confused as ever. Now, I've listened to the pastor. I've breezed through my Bible. I myself, I'm 22 or something. And she was reading so many things. I was fascinated with her. Scripture. She was like sharp. I was like, Lord, whenever would I be able to do that? I was totally confused. Ain't gonna lie. I know a lot of things I didn't know it. I was confused. And one day I just braved it up and I said to her, when you read, I don't know where you read, right? I go back and look and it made no sense to me. She said, Caren, that was me like a couple years ago. And although I went to church my whole life, I never understood anything. And said, my dad said to me, you should probably read the Bible and then find it from God, wherever you want to know. Don't necessarily come to me, And she said, he kept telling her that. And finally she picked it up and she said, and part of what she's doing is helping her learn the Bible better. So although people close the door on it, she said helps her just as much as she helps people. Because every time she reads, some part of the Bible to somebody and explain it, it explains itself back to her. And so that's why it's more for her, if no people think it's for them, than it is for anybody else. And we had become such good friends over 2 years. Why are you letting her in? Don't let him joke with it. But we have become such good friends. And I learned a lot from the woman reading the Bible because I didn't know how. Even though I went to church, Sunday school, First Communion, none of that. But there's a woman who took her time, sit next to me, and we went through and did Bible study for 2 years. So I understand things. And, you know, there's still always more to understand, but just the basic I was able to understand with her by my side.
Right. You had a coach to help you get through the basics in the military. You have somebody to take you through basic training. You have people to take you through the basics of something because you haven't been through it.
Yep. You know,
man.
Tell me. So another thing you might want to think about is set a limited number of goals is very important. Because when you get too big and wide, you know, here you talk about niches and all that, same thing for yourself. Like, don't get too big and wide. You will never accomplish anything. And trust me, this was my biggest problem. I go big, wide, forget deep. I'm just spreading. I run like butter, and I can't suck me up. But I want you to know that I've been down this far. So I can tell you, doesn't end well. You gotta have your goals and make it be limited. Set short-term goal, specific goals, successful goals that you really and truly know you can meet, surpass them, and then you go back into the stretch. If you feel like you're failing, restart and check for leaks. Don't sit upon the fail. The first time I came to Canada, I got lost on the subway, and I was so ashamed to open my mouth that they took me to the end of the line, brought me back up, and carried me back down again. And I guess they can see us because the subway driver came to me and said, sit next to me, he said. Nice and quietly. I said, I think I am. He said, where you live? I said, I'm in Markham. You're all the way downtown, getting into a different city. And I said, so what do I do? He says, well, I think you got to nod around. You have to come back up. And truth is word, when we came back up, he came and he told me, this is the point where you get out. And then he wrote it on a piece of paper because I had to take 3 other buses to get me back to my dad's place. And so he wrote it down. He said, I don't want to lost again. I think today was a very rich experience. And you know, so I was able to show me on the subway how you look and you see where to get off.
On the map.
Girl, I couldn't read that. I was confused because the places and the names meant nothing to me because I just never been to them. So even though they're telling me this stuff and that, it's like, nothing, not a zippity doo. And a lot of times we're going through life like that. We don't know what these things mean and where it's supposed to lead us. So we're just confused. And I was ashamed that I didn't know where I was going. This part of shame and fear that had me not asked. There's so many people in the subway that I could have asked. And I asked somebody back there, traveling up and down and up again, and come back down. Just silliness. You know, we just allow fear to be. And that, so same thing goes for sales. Sales, most time we said we don't want to sell, we don't want to do sales because we're just afraid of rejection. We're afraid of failing. We're afraid of looking bad. We're afraid of what people are going to talk about us. We're afraid of also making money. We're afraid that we're not going to know what to do when we get the money. We're afraid that our product is not good enough for the people we're selling it to. We're afraid that they're a different category and we can't sell to them. So we go find people who can't pay us. We go find people who is struggling and can't get. It's not like you mustn't help the people who struggle and can't get out of whatever. But if you are struggling yourself, you can't help them yet. They have to be helped by people who has come up 1 or 2 steps. You can't help those people because you're just not there yet to help them. Later on, you'll be able to help them. So don't beat yourself up. At this moment, you can't help those people. And it's okay that you can't help them. You just have to get true understanding. I am struggling at this moment. And I have to make, this is the other thing most, and I was afraid of this, saying that, you know, the only reason I open this business is to make money. Because everybody said, got to be passion, you know, it has to be fulfilling. Well, maybe at the moment I have to eat. So the only reason I'm opening this business is to eat. And like, honestly, be honest with yourself. The only reason I'm selling these clothing is so I can eat. Period. After that, we'll go for the rest. But right now, I need to eat. It's like a woman was asking for a job in a group I was in, and everybody's telling her this business and that. And I'm like, but she just got to eat. That's what she said. I need to feed my kids. What can I do right now? If you have a job, I don't want a business. Yet you're pushing the business down her throat. It's not that she doesn't want to be in business. She's just hungry now.
Right.
So you have VA work, pay the lady and give it to her. That's it.
Right.
Because that's not what she needed anymore. And eventually, if you look after her, she might be able to look after you. We are so afraid of offending people that we give up very easily. We become burdened to our own self. So we don't do anything. This is part of the sales life. There's no salesman out there. I don't care how great he's looking right now, that didn't have people say, no, what are you selling me? I don't want it. Move from in front of my face. Leave me alone. Or the salesperson who get a sales right away, but keep talking, and talking self or herself out of a sale. Because you just say, yes, I will do it. A couple years ago, they were selling books. I always like to have books on whatever my kids were doing and stuff. These are big books. They are sold for like, I don't know, $200 or $300. But you could tutor out of them. They're just educational things, right? And the guy came to my door and he telling me about the books. And I asked him from what grade it would work. And he told me, I said, okay, you know what? How about them? Yes, but if your kids are in high school, I'll buy them. And if you know, everything is online now, so I'll buy them. And I said, you know what? You're going to lose the same sale. Keep it up. I'm closing the door right now.
You already told him you're going to buy, and he's still talking.
Because they've given him a presentation and they already haven't trained him in sales. They just give him a presentation. So he doesn't know when to stop or start. He has to go through the whole presentation to get to it.
He feels like he has to finish the script.
Yeah.
And that, okay, that's because he's really, it's not a part of him. It's he's not doing that out of his heart, shall I say. He's not, he's doing it for a robotics. It's not the thing he knows to do. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Conversational, that's for sure.
He doesn't know what he's doing. That's what I want to say. He doesn't know how to sell. That's the problem. He doesn't know how, because selling involves a lot of listening.
Yes. Yes. So you repeat what somebody tells you over and over so you can get to what they want. Like when anybody asks to be my friend, I send them out a little blurb. Hi, nice to meet you. How can I help you? Everybody gets that. And this woman sent me something yesterday. She asked to be my friend. I said yes. She sent me something. Hey, hi. I mean, I don't have enough space. And she keep typing, send me. And it tells me to tell me a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your business, and how can I help? That's what it says. That's what it tells me. She hasn't told me anything like that. She told me about the jewelry she's selling. She's a single mom, how I can get on her upline, what kind of groups I could join to sell the jewelry with her. The jewelry is sold $275, and I can sell back for $5 because $5 jewelry, it might look fake, but it's really good jewelry. Over and over. If that's the script you're telling everybody who you ask to be friends, you can be out of friend fast.
Yes, because you're not building the relationship. Build the relationship first, then ask me for something.
That's exactly right. That's what it says in it. It tells you. I'm going to pull this in one moment, ladies. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go right into it where she says.
You know how they say no solicitors? They have those signs that say no solicitors. They should have a sign that says no booty calls.
Because that's exactly what there was.
Yeah. Hope all is well. This is what I sent everybody. So happy that you reached out to me to form a friendship, and hopefully we can build a really great relationship. In spite of the relationship. Tell me a little bit about yourself and business, if you have one, and how I can support you. And for that, I got
an opportunity to support her downline. I'm just saying.
And she forgot that part about building relationships.
She didn't tell me.
She forgot about that part where I'd like to build relationship.
Yes.
How you could support her. And girlfriend said, you can sell this jewelry. And so can your friends. And tell me the names of all your friends.
Oh boy.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, and it's some kind of script that they give her because you can see how it's worded.
She cut and pasted it and
yes, that's what it was.
Enter.
It was thoughtless. This is the thing. It was thoughtless. She didn't think about how the other person on the other side was going to interpret that. And again, there was no thought to it. It's just robotic. She wasn't listening. See, you have to listen online too, just because you're not having a conversation. You have to listen when people are sending you information over the internet and you're typing it, even though it's typed and you're not hearing an audible voice. You still got to listen.
You have to listen. Who says hi?
I said hi to Carlotta. She's joined us.
Yes, you have to listen. Sales is about listening. Sales is about listening, understanding, verifying. You have to do all those things to be able to sell something. And yes, the thing might only be $10 or $20, but you still have to be listening, because those $10 or $20 item is going to show you who you are as a person. And if you're not a good listener, you can learn how to become a good listener. You don't automatically have to be. And if you don't know how to sell, after doing those small numbers, you'll be able to sell bigger items. And bigger items wouldn't frighten you because you've developed and you've done the things that you know you have. Repetition. I know they say doing the same thing over and over mean you're crazy. Success is part of that same cycle too. Doing the same things over and over. And it's tiring. It's hard. It's hard, but you got to do it hard. You get up every morning, you're doing the same thing, and you see no results. You still have to do them. What you need to do is look in that pile of things that's not giving you results and go and find something that you can get a win. Everybody want a quick win. A quick win could simply mean that you went and walk. A quick win could mean you eat better today. It doesn't have to mean that you make a step. But when you're eating well, when you're working out, when you are meditating and praying, ideas come to you. So you can push it in and do well. But all those things are rounded in this ball. So if you're doing them all, you can literally see the leak. When you are leaking out, you see it when you specifically and precisely paying attention to the things you do. Yes, you're going to get tired, but when you were in school, you couldn't tell him, unless you were sick, I'm not going to school today because, she's teaching me the same thing over and over. You can't tell your mom that.
And if you never show up, you're not going to learn. And I think going to school is the 12-year, it's a 12-year course. It's the same stuff that we learned every year. And then the next year, you just built on what you did the previous year. So you're doing it over and over again. The repetition is critical for the success. That's why there was first grade, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, but you're still going back over the things that you've already learned. And what we like to do in business is like, okay, I heard that, and you want to keep moving. Oh, no, you heard it, but you didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. We heard it, but we didn't get it. So the postings of today, I want to really tell you that sales is about setting goals, being organized, and taking action, satisfying your customers, then rinse and repeat.
and it really, those are very concrete. Say them one more time.
Setting goals. Sales is about setting goals, being organized to take action. However many times you have to take the action, that I emphasize that part. Satisfy your customer, then rinse and repeat. That's it in sales. Now, it sounds simple. I understand they have a little elements to it, but it is what it is. Like, I am working on a free email, 5-part emailing course on money management, which is going to, as I said, but setting things up. And that is going to lead people into my budgeting course. Then it will lead people into other things. No, those are paid things, but I wanted to lead people into other things. Or if you had my money principle, it still is going to lead you back into the money management. Then it lead you into the budgeting course. Then I want to lead you into sales, because I want it to. I recognize my leakage. I know what I want to teach people, but I've recognized what people want to be taught versus what I want to teach them. Now I know it's good for them, but they're not ready yet for it being good for them. So they want to hang over here. So to get them in, I got to open the door and get you in this way, because everybody wants to sell, even though you need all these other things, because you don't want to hear about the other things.
Right.
And a lady and I were having the discussion online. She says, no, Caren, you hit the hammer on the nail. She goes, I screw up my business for the last 3 years, but because I don't want to hear the things you're talking to me about. Honestly, because we had an honest conversation. I don't want to hear them, even though I know I need them. I don't want to hear them. She said, that's for the last 3 years why I'm failing, because I hate it. And I'm fighting, I'm resisting like you got to change. I'm resisting, I don't want to hear it. I just want to put my stuff out there, and I just want to make money. Kickstarter, she told me she's been on crowdfunding to get money. She's done anything that she thinks is good like that, but because she doesn't want to work on her stuff to get her to the next place. That was just an honest discussion. No hard, just an honest discussion. Here's where I want to be, but I don't want to do the work to get there. But now I realize I got to do the work.
Yes. Wow.
So that's the end of our sales month. Now it's not ended, but it ended here on the site.
Well,
and next month we'll talk about, we're going to go back into mindset next month. We're really going to dive back in there because we're heading towards the holiday, and we want to set you up with a hopefully structured mindset.
I appreciate the points that you brought out today. And I'm encouraging everyone who's watching this live and on the replay, go back and get those points, meditate on them, sit and just think about it for a little bit. Just deciding and those last 4 points. One more time, Caren.
This is about setting goals, being organized.
Setting goals.
Take action.
Organize, take action.
However many times you need to. And satisfy your customer.
Okay. So
really satisfy them. If they're disgruntled, find out why. Find out why. Don't be afraid. One of my biggest things when I opened my cleaning company was being scared when people call me to fix an issue. I'm sitting here telling you straight up. I did not like when they called me. But after about 6 calls at different times, not all together, I start listening and writing down what people were complaining about. And instead of being afraid of it, I took that and put that within my training. Because obviously, instead of blaming the girls for not getting it done, it's something I bear the onus is that I, as the owner, was not equipping them right. So how could I help them do better when they go and do the job? So to help them to do better, I take what I heard and use it to my advantage. I put my girls in a position of literally being their own boss. I don't tell them they're their own boss, but I give them that power to be their own boss when they're handling, so that they would handle the customer better, and they'll talk to them like if this was part of their business. And because it is, it's their job, but I'm making it in such a way that is so beneficial to them that they're treating the customer like this is a client. This is my client. I know it's Karen's client, but it's my client today. So everything that happened when they didn't show up, people ask her that, what's wrong with Lucy? Like they care that she's not there, send her love, and she didn't have a good relationship because I've moved myself away and allowed her to build it versus they literally having to come to me. I put her right there. I give her all the equipment. I give her all the tools, and I boost her like nobody's business because I need to do that so she can be a better person to mine and her clients. That's how we look at it. It's our clients. It's not mine. It's ours.
This was great information, Caren. Thank you for sharing it. Watch the replay. Go back and do the work. And then don't forget to go to the front of your own line. And we'll be back tomorrow, same time.
See you later, ladies.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.